Hello everybody, the iLord Roots here, and welcome back to another episode of Back to Basics. So we decided to accept that main cell contract, or rather I did, and I'll just show you what I came up with. It turns out to be very easy for us to fulfill, as it turns out. This is in the future. Let's go forward to the CCP2. Here we have a very basic guy here, and we intend to simply launch into the air and run our test. And we need, I guess I forgot to unlock a part here. That's okay, we'll use that. This guy is very compact, as you can see. And unfortunately the landing legs are sort of locked in this position. I think that's everything. This will help us in some ways get science some more finds. Ooh. Okay, let's try that again. Let's recover that vessel. Oh yeah, we're done here. Let's try CCP2 again. And really, we can just take off as soon as we want. There we go. So the goal here, as you'll be able to see, is for us to get pretty high here. We want, to get, well, I guess it's not really all that high in comparison to what we've been doing. We're certainly not reaching orbit. Maybe I should throttle down just a little bit. This thing does pack a lot of punch, after all. Let me just... I need to run the test as soon as I get up here. And there we go. Pop the parachutes briefly and recover that as soon as possible. And with any amount of luck, we will completely recover this. As you can see here, this is not very good if we're trying to get rid of lag. We'll just get that out of render distance here. Burn as much in the way of fuel as we can. And there we go. This guy's good for recovery. So that gives us another contract we can work with. And really, I'd like to get a couple knocked out. We can already, it might be good for us to go ahead and see what we have left. We have these two guys. And I really have no preference here. I mean, it's going to be the same no matter what. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to launch Bill onto a most excellent adventure using the Moonlight and a new stage that I've developed called the Tellurian 14S. Yeah, it's named after a race on Star Trek, but it's meant to be cheap so we can get these heavy payloads up to where they need to be. We've got fuel tanks, incidentally, that feed into this guy right here. And let's go ahead, we'll select the moon here as our target. Let's get this guy going as quickly as possible. That's very nice so far. Again, this would not be good for far as we're concerned, because far happens to take, exception to the fact that this guy is like a pancake and create a lot of drag, which we want to avoid. But the idea here is that we've got these four solids on the outside. And then several, we got this one core stage here. And I found this reduced the cost quite a bit. I tried liquid fueled engines, and those don't seem to work nearly as well. How's our inclination? We're gaining a little bit of inclination, but we can correct for that. And so combined, this thing probably has about 7k delta V. Main reason for that, of course, it's time to turn. We better stop turning. And this will send us in a bit of a spin here. Hopefully, it looks like it is correcting our inclination a little bit. But we want to manage this very, very quickly. And we want to land somewhere close by on the moon, somewhere that's easy to get from equatorial orbit. Okay, there we go. Time for us to drag down this apsis some. And if we're lucky, and we should be, we will be in a good position here to hit the moon almost directly. We'll get this guy up as much as we can. Take advantage of the fact that we have this huge stage that admittedly is a bit underpowered. And we'll use some of the transfer stage to get us up into orbit. Not really the best flight I've ever done. And we may have to do a bit of a plane change. Okay, I think that's enough for orbital tweaking. We have quite a I think we better get into orbit. This did not work out as well as I thought it would. Oh, actually, that's not too bad. I just need to see our approach here. They'll put us on a collision course with the moon, which would be nifty for us. If we can avoid creating much in the way of debris, I would like that very much. And 1 minute 52 seconds will do it for us. Ooh, except I am a shade late. How are we doing on our fuel consumption? We could, of course, do a little bit better on this. probably be better to tweak our descending node just a little bit. So the question is, at this point, will we make it? I'm going to turn off fine control for now. Okay, so this guy is just going to have to be debris. We have 100 meters per second less than I really wanted. And that is in front. We don't want that. We want on the other side here. We may have to take that though because of our approach. Let's see what happens when we do this. Oh, okay, let's not do that per se. Got these guys in the way here. Okay, that gives us a periapsis. I'm gonna go for that. Still plenty of delta V for us to land with. And we can do something that we've not yet done. Well, really two things. First of all, we need a crew report. And that needs to be sent out pretty much as soon as possible. The next thing we need is an EVA report. Something we can send back. And of course it would be very helpful if I got back in at this point. Plenty of electric charge, however. If we look at the stored data and transmit it, that'll give us a fair amount of science. Let's see. Well, that really wasn't what I wanted to do. And that is our probe. Let's switch to this guy and try this again. The ascending node is 0 for the moon, so we should be pretty good. I'm going to give us a little bit of time here to do the other launch. There we go. We will. While Bob's going out to the moon, we'll send our other scientist out as well. Now, this guy I've not tested extensively, but it does need to be done. And so, let's use the Probuline. Let's get Joing out, and Calford looks like the best guy to send out here. Now, one of the things I noticed with this vehicle assembly building that we are sending out, or that we had upgraded rather, is that the VAB lets you do action groups, which is really nice, but it does not allow us, on the other hand, to do other things we might want to do. Like, for instance, we want this guy here, maybe to have a separate action group, a custom action group. Oh, let's see if we're targeting anything. We have a little bit of time here. We might as well set this at the target. We are gaining a bit of inclination, which is unfortunate, but the deal is that we do not have expert pilots yet. So that's a bit of an issue. It turns out that the way I'm doing this, at least, they may not be needed, because I'm now putting the probe cores on here, and the probe cores can act like pilots in some way. Yeah, we'll just get this guy over, and we need to be very careful with that. That's an outstanding issue with this rocket, is that getting rid of the solids tilts it a bit much. Well, hopefully we'll get better results out of this. It might help, of course, if I fly this properly. And we can likewise put this guy on a straight shot to the moon, I think. There's no reason why that could not be done, but we have to be very careful here. You see, we're losing time to apoapsis. And we are also gaining quite a great deal of inclination like this. And there we go. Main engine cut off. These two guys are just going to have to do their thing, I suppose. I think we got a little bit more mileage out of this, however, for whatever that's worth. Incidentally, this craft is a little bit heavier. We'll raise periapsis here, and I will be right back. So we are back, and I've decided, just briefly, that we want to go ahead and maybe adjust this some. I think... Oh, why do I keep on doing that? I actually ran a fairly interesting... I'll switch to that. I actually ran a fairly interesting deal here. And if I could just focus on the moon like this. What I'm basically trying to do here is get in line with this guy here. Periapsis is a bit high for what we want. Oh no, don't do that. I seem to be having control issues here, getting this guy set up. You know, anyway, I was going to say that I actually recorded this once already past the checkpoint, and I'm glad I did make a checkpoint, because I had a rather funny crash happen. Now we target this guy, the moon. Set his target. No, not MP1, the moon. This is getting a little bit infuriating. I want to set the moon as a target. Oh well, let's at least go back to here. You know what, I can use tab to do that. The idea is that the further out we are, the better we will be. And in fact, it looks like we can just simply do this guy right here if we maybe go and do something like that. Add a maneuver in. And bring this guy down. That may be easier for us to work with. Let's lower our periapsis just a little bit. And now we've got this issue going on here, which has to do with the way that my mouse is on this machine. I could fix it if I, I can fix this fairly easily if I might place this guy out here. There we go. Can we get this any closer? In fact, we can. And we will want to probably come in like this. Maybe something like that. I think we are good on inclination at least. This guy can hang around in orbit. And let's target this other guy so we have an idea when he will be coming in. We still got 2 hours, so we can make this quite easily. And given the speeds we're traveling at, I mean, we can get out here just fine, I think. We'll do that. We got another 4 hours. This guy has close to an hour, so let's switch to him. Now, there are some things about Bob that really, first of all, when something like this happens, it's, it can be very mildly irritating. But we are now in orbit. And all I'm going to really do is circularize for now. $33 versus 31, I think is good. I do want to check to see, we're coming in at an inclination that may be favorable to this guy, but I want to make sure that whatever we do, let's switch to this guy real quick and see where it says we are. If anywhere. I don't think, I have to go back and look at another video. I think there's no way for us to know. My guess, however, is the Midlands. So let's switch back to the Moonlight. And let's get this, let's do two things. First of all, let's get an EVA report. And get this sent. And then let's also grab from this our science out of the deal, which I guess we didn't take the temperature scan, did we? We must not have. So that leaves the EVA report, which we will transmit with haste. Crew report, I believe we've already done, so it's just a matter now of us getting into position. We still have plenty of we're getting close. We still have plenty of fuel left. $38 is the total we need to do. So I'm going to burn at about 19 seconds. I will be posting that blunder up, by the way, because it actually is kind of funny. I do actually do a pretty nifty suicide burn with it. I'll do it like this real quick. I do want to grab some things while I'm at it. Like a crew report. And I might go take an EVA report as well. We also want some mystery goo here in space near the moon. And I think we will shoot for the Midlands. Maybe just a little bit higher. We're still doing pretty good on fuel. I think if we keep our periapsis high enough that we'll be okay. So that part's not going to be the difficult part. The difficult part, as I believe it anyhow, well, you know, actually, here's an okay place to land. Let me just land here. Maybe push this up just a little bit. Wherever we go, we want Bob here. To be able to land quite easily and be able to depart quite easily as well. And we are still quite the way up. Okay, let's gain some momentum here. Now the only thing I'm not sure of is if we have fuel to get back. I thought we did. But taking another look at it, we may not. So the wisest thing for me to do now is to use what I have to land. I mean, it's looking to me like we will need to send a rescue craft out. And there we go. More or less okay landing. Probably not enough fuel for us to be able to get back at present because of the approach I took. Let's review our crew report here. And let's maybe see about observing our materials bay and getting science back from it. Let's see, is there anything we can do to take our EVA report just above the moon's far side crater? If we can get as much of this sent off as possible, and we can get ourselves a crew report going, then that'll be just fine for us. The main thing we want, of course, is for Bob to be safe. Now we are at least equatorial, so getting a rescue mission out here won't be difficult. But what we are going to want to do is get out here and do Something that we've neglected to do, the one thing that really makes this worth it. And we're going to plant a flag here. And we will simply call this Marooned on the Moon. Actually, no, we'll call it East Far Side Crater. I think that's what it is. Bob was marooned on the moon here. We'll just take another report while we're at it. Or maybe not. Oh. Okay, that was a bad move. I need to check where I'm going next time. If we hit the abort button, there we go. Well, on the flip side, I mean, we do now have everything we want. We'll remove that Science Junior data, which is so precious to us. And we might as well get the other data as well, so that it is well within reach. And finally, we have this data here, if I can manage to get to it. This wonderful data which I seem to be unable to collect for some reason. We'll leave... Well, you know, we actually do have a crew report we can send. We'll send that out. That already gives us more than we could really want. So now it's just a matter of taking care of this guy here. So we'll switch to the Probulon. I will not time warp through it like I did last time. It's not really a good thing for me to be time warping through maneuver nodes. That's 34 seconds there. Okay, a little bit late. But that's okay. I mean, we are over the designated point, I believe. And there we go. I think we'll be close enough to where... Well, let's see what we have here. We have above, above, and below. So which one is below? Below is, or above is HKMU 8. That is actually way up here. Okay, that's a little bit too low. If we can get 9 kilometers out of this, then I will be satisfied for the most part. There we go, 9 kilometers or thereabout. I'm not sure, really, what the best way of going about this is, because, well, part of the issue is that we have such a high apoapsis, and we really do need to be quite tight here. Okay, we'll go with that. That's sure to be okay. You know, we will keep a lookout here. Figure out exactly where we are. I think we'll hit this guy pretty soon. Unfortunately, we're way too high for this. But it's good to know that we'll be hitting it pretty soon. Oh, and also over here, we should be collecting data. Because otherwise, this vessel would have been pretty easy to make if I didn't have to do data collection. Okay, let's... Oh, are we under acceleration? You know, it says we are. But I'm not too sure about that. Oh, we are a little bit early. Let's see, where's our periapsis? Okay, that's about as, well, almost. Almost as low as I'm willing to go. I don't think we'll be running into anything like this, though. And the question then might be, how close we would be. If we just did a short burn like this, we might as well. Except that it lowers our periapsis. Or, actually, it does raise our periapsis a bit. I think I'm going to go for it. Because that is the way to do it. We still have plenty of fuel left, so this mission is in some ways going a lot better than we might initially expect. We just have to burn here and take our crew report. And there we go. More than close enough for me. I'm not going to... I don't think the game is all that finicky, but we do have to wait on this. So what I will probably do is I will record the rest of this off screen and then come back when we are ready to return. So I will see you here in a bit. Okay, we are back, and we're getting pretty close to this guy this guy here rather. There we go. Grab that crew report, and I think, well, if I can target this, that does it for us. We are officially done with this contract. We made lots of money from it. Enough for us to at least consider doing a mission to send. I mean, we're going to send a rescue mission anyhow because there's too much science for us to lose otherwise, but that of course means that, let me just zoom out here so we can see what we're doing. If we can just get this guy close enough in. We want to be as close into Kerbin as we can when we make this re-entry. There we go. A little bit more should do it. I'm gonna go with maybe 20 here. I don't really care where I land at this point. Just that I do. And unlike with the other mission, we actually have plenty of fuel left. So, let's get in position here. It'll take a wee bit of a while, but maybe not too much of one. And that'll be about a minute's burn time or so. So let's get prepared for that. As close as we are, I do not want to risk overshooting. But that will get us pretty close in. And we do want to be careful with this because we don't want our pilot to be the first extra or intergalactic pilot. Or rather interplanetary. There we go. We are now on our way out, which will be good for us. I can't wait to get off the planet personally. Now, as for Bob, I guess at least we don't have TAC life support on. That would be quite unfortunate if we did. We're coming in at quite a speed here. And there we go. We should do ourselves a favor and point retrograde. At least for now. You know, we're actually pretty close to KSC. A lot closer than I figured we'd be. This was by no means on purpose. But as you can see, we're coming in pretty steeply. G-forces are a little bit high here. If we had deadly re-entry on, this would certainly kill us. But I would not want to kill old Calford here after all that we've been through. And we'll turn off SAS here. Okay, parachutes are open. Gear down just in case. And SAS on, just in case as well. Actually, the gear are probably kind of pointless to have. But that will pretty much be it for us. And I wonder how much experience do we gain from this? Whoa, look at that. We got a ton of science from that, and I think one of them was from a contract. Parts, 78% of the value. Not too bad, and 4 XP. That means if we go to our astronaut complex, we have a fairly decent scientist here. One at least that we can say is able to do a lot of science for us. Now the whole deal with Bob, however, is a bit of a problem, and we will have to think about how to deal with that. Now there's a couple of things we could do from here. We could upgrade strategies. Definitely might be worth investigating. We have basic action groups available. Let's go to contracts and see if there's anything here that we want to get. A Minimus satellite might be kinda cool. We have plant a flag on Minimus, which is worth some money. And science data from around the moon. Which would be good if we get this guy off the ground. I mean, unfortunately, we're gonna have to find a very tight deal with it, but I think this will be okay for now, because other than that we have this mission here that won't give us much. So science data from around the moon will be what we'll look at, and that will be our next goal, is rescuing Bob and maybe getting a satellite going as well. But until then, this has been Thy Lord Root, and I will see you later.